Welcome back to our Sport Management TV channel. Today we have a guest, Dr. Alex. He's a specialist in leadership and organization behavior. Dr. Alex, can you give us a brief description about yourself?
Sure. I'm Dr. Alex Jones from the College of Business Administration at the American University in the Emirates. My field of specialty is leadership and organizational behavior. And this is just in a brief. Prior to that, I worked in a corporate world as a CEO, and I came from an industry, kind of like, have both experiences of both industry and academia at the same time.
Perfect. I want to ask you in terms of leadership, but in the sport industry. What do you say about, is it as important as any other industry?
Right. I believe and I think strongly that leadership, it's one of the most aspects that's required in our daily life. We interact with our colleagues, friends at the house. A man at the house is a leader, and in this case sometimes can be a woman actually at the same time. In the sport industry, if we take this one actually, first of all, we got to ask ourselves, is there a fine line between leadership and management? Of course there is. Leaders are having a fine line, and then they have an important role and significant role in the society, as a matter of fact. Now when you take this one and apply it in the field of sport, leaders, name them, from coaches to captains in the team, to those who are really training all the team. And when I was practicing Taekwondo back in the States and went into tournaments, into kickboxings, I used to have a leader, and that leader was a mentor, was a coach, was a supervisor. And we have to be careful here. A mentor is different from a supervisor. A supervisor is different from a coach. And when we apply this technique and this terminologies into the leadership, as a matter of fact, leadership is the most important part in the sport. Now, the leader can lead the team in the field of sport to the success and failure, and that depends on multiple variables here. If you look at it, let's take the football, for example, or the MMA, the martial arts. Actually, that's a field I'm passionate about all the time, and I talk about. The leader study and then encourages all the team players in the team, or the person who's going to contest in a game, that to study other participant, and with the guidance of the leader himself or herself. As a matter of fact, they will tell them exactly what to look for, what to look after, what to look at actually in a contestant, from a positive and a negative side. So the leader here can be as a guidance, as a counselor, as a mentor, as a coach, as a supervisor, you name it.
Perfect. Now the American University in the Emirates, they offer sport management, masters in sport management and sports law. Knowing that the sport industry in the whole world, especially in the UAE and the MENA region, is booming, how do you see the opportunities waiting in the whole industry for the sport management students after graduating?
The university itself took the lead, and they took the prime leadership here. I would say I congratulate them for taking this step, because the whole Middle East and the whole entire Arab world is lacking a program like that. And as a matter of fact, you guys as young leaders and young entrepreneurs in the same time, I would say this would lead to a huge, significant transformation in this industry. Our Arab world, the Middle East entirely, the GCC needs a program like this, whether it is a bachelor in sport management or a master or even a doctorate in sport management. As a matter of fact, we need to have leaders ready, equip them with the right tools through a right program. And nothing is going to take them from one step to another unless they have the proper guidance. And the proper guidance through this, I would say that a program in the sport management like this.
As you mentioned at the beginning of the interview that you worked as a CEO for a company in the US, I want to ask you if you can give us a brief comparison between leadership in the US and in the MENA region or in the UAE?
Right, that's a very good question to bring to the table. As a matter of fact, actually, leadership is leadership wherever you're going to be in the world. And I think if we do a comparison study or just comparison just by talking about it, actually, a leader is all about a character. A leader is all about personality. The debate about leadership, whether it's in sport industry or in general, whether a leader is born or leadership is learned, is still debatable, as a matter of fact. And I think, let's apply this actually more narrow the scope of leadership here on the sport field. I think any person who is going to be enrolled in a specific program in leadership within the sport industry, they're going to be ultimately learn the techniques and going to be ultimately leading to the path of leadership in the sport industry. And I think that's what is missing actually in our Arab world in the same time, regardless of comparison whether with the West or the East.
Perfect. Dr. Alex, again, thank you very much for being our guest. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube and social media channels and stay tuned for more.